In a society ruled by God and His laws, restitution, not residency, is punctuated. Okay, what do I mean by punctuated? I mean, it's given the accent mark. It's given the exclamation point. What is prioritized? The confinement of the transgressor. That's what I mean by residency. Or making proper restitution to the victim. What's prioritized? Proper restitution to the victim. By restitution, I mean the act of making good or compensating for loss, damage, or injury. By residency, what do I mean? Well, let me answer that through a question. What was missing from our entire text that dominates Western culture and our system of justice? What was missing from the entire text that dominates Western culture and our system of justice? There was no envisioned jail or prison system for punishing crimes in Israel. Let me repeat that. There was no envisioned jail or prison system for punishing crimes in Israel. Now, why would this be? You know, in our modern pride, we posture ourselves as being morally superior and highly evolved and ethically advanced, don't we? We might even pride ourselves in our tendency to put humans in cages like animals. Well, there could be many responses to the question, why would this be? Let me give you one. Psalm 18:30. As for God, His way is perfect. God's focus is on restoring wholeness to victims. God's focus is not on residency for offenders. Let me give you 4 advantages of prioritizing restitution over residency. 4 advantages of prioritizing restitution over residency. First, God's system of restitution compensated the victims of a crime more generously and more immediately than what we tend to see in modern Western societies. Hey, someone steals your car. How does it benefit you that they're sitting in jail for a couple years? Meanwhile, you have no car. And now you have to go take a loan just to buy some used car that's nowhere near as nice as the car that was stolen from you. God's system of restitution compensated the victims of a crime more generously and more immediately than what we tend to see in modern Western societies. Secondly, the thief must deal directly with the person they've offended and face the effects of his crime on that person. In this system God had set up in ancient Israel, the thief must deal directly with the person they've offended. Thirdly, it permitted the repentant offender to continue a productive life immediately upon making restoration. Let's suppose for a minute an individual is caught in their act of theft. And God does a work in their heart, and there is genuine sorrow, and there's a desire to make things right. Well, in this system, what's necessary to make things right? You just pay the restitution. Just pay the restitution. Make the victim whole. And then here's what's awesome. You get to move on. You get to live. You've learned your lesson. Lick your wound. Move forward. Fourthly, it did not cost society. It did not cost society. Here I'm thinking about the burden to taxpayers to provide housing, food, clothing, guards, and general care during periods of confinement, periods of imprisonment. In the United States, jails are big business. Did you know that? The 2025 estimate is that jails in the United States generated $5.5 billion in revenue. $5.5 billion in revenue. You could put it another way. Creating human zoos cost U.S. taxpayers $5.5 billion. And we call ourselves more humane. Now, the biggest drawback to this system might be the concern for repeat offenders. However, I want you to think it through. Once a thief couldn't make restitution, what happened to him? He was sold into slavery. Okay? Slavery had this thing called corporal punishment. What I'm suggesting to you is that ancient slavery in Old Testament Israel and its inherent corporal punishment were more organic means of dealing with such individuals in ways that still prioritized restitution and productivity for the broader society.